The Liberty Triathlon team has grown in prestige and national recognition over the last few seasons. But that recognition might not have happened if the foundation was not set by the team's founder, Beth Frackelton, who first got into the sport of triathlon on a bet.
This would have been probably between 20 to 22 years ago, I believe, and my uncle sort of challenged me to do a sprint triathlon in Virginia Beach. So it was over the Christmas holiday, so I took it upon myself to take him up on it. And the rest was history. I fell in love after my first competition. And it really does become a lifestyle when you're training for 3 events. And I started off doing fairly well, became fairly competitive in my age group in some of the local USAT triathlon races in Virginia and North Carolina. And I had the friends started asking me, could I help them? And I thought, gosh, I better get some credentials behind my name. So I went and received my level 1 USAT triathlon certification, coaching certification. And after getting that, I started thinking I would love to coach a team. So I just scheduled an appointment to come over to meet with Club Sports, Kirk Handy, and I could not believe how receptive he was to the idea. I told him that I was passionate about it, it was a popular sport, and I thought that it was picking up speed and it'd be a great thing to offer athletes and students over here. And he was receptive and we just took off.
After getting the team started, the Flames would begin to attract top-level athletes to the program, which would soon help transform the program to receive national recognition.
I was so amazed that so many of the students were interested in our program. I had maybe 10 to 12 people show up in their first meeting, and then we started our first season, and I think we picked up a handful of more. Now some of these people, some of these athletes did not have a bike, hadn't ridden a bike since a child, or maybe did not know how to swim. So if that was the case, I just put them on a relay team so they could excel and train in the area they were most comfortable with the idea that we would try to get them over to the other sport or two that they didn't have experience in and time. But as a year or two went by, I was fortunate enough to pick up some elite level athletes, and we were able to do extremely well. By 2012, both the men's and women's team were actually the teams to beat in the Mid-Atlantic Conference. We had, got to the point where we were extremely competitive because the men ended up second place in 2012 and the women were third place out of quite a few teams on the East Coast. So it just took time to sort of get the word out there, to be visible in front of other teams, in front of the other students here at Liberty. And we were having so much fun, and I think having fun can be contagious, and I think, the momentum picked up. In addition to competing for Liberty, some of the top athletes would compete year-round in the summer. And then in 2012, also myself, as well as 2 of the male athletes, Parker and Joey, we all 3 were supported by Liberty and Club Sports to go to New Zealand. And individually, we all competed for the USAT team, the United States team, and representing our age group respectively. That was a trip of a lifetime.
And after the Flames' 2013-2014 campaign, Frackelton felt it was time to step away from the team and pursue other passions.
All good leaders, get to the point they realize maybe they have done all they can do. I felt like I had started the team, put us on the map nationally, and I felt like we had still more to do, but you kind of know that maybe it was time to sort of just hand the reins over. At the same time, I had an opportunity to get back into the clinical world and use my nursing background. It was like these 2 things happened at the same time, and it was like divine intervention. God was telling me, it's time, you have other things you need to do. It was actually a wonderful transition because Parker, who was one of my athletes, was able to take the team. He knew Liberty, he went to school here, he had been on the team, so it made complete sense, and I think it was a great transition.
For founding and laying the foundation for the triathlon team, which helped lead to the formation of 2 other club sports, Frackelton's contributions to the department were remembered, leading her to be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I'm on the phone with a client, but I see my cell phone, it has Liberty University come across and I thought, well, maybe it's a missed call. It could be Liberty, but I hadn't been in touch with Club Sports in a while. So I called them back, and when I heard and they said, we've got some good news for you, I was floored. I mean, I think my heart rate went up just with excitement and I was so honored and so flattered and so overwhelmed with emotion. I don't think I slept for a week. But it meant the world, and it means the world. Just to feel like I had planted a seed and it grew. And I felt like that's kind of what my role was, is to share this idea, to get us started. And I follow all the teams to be able to stay in touch with the athletes that I coached, as well as to watch the ones now that are competing and pulling for them as hard as I can. It means a lot. It's like I said, it's almost like I'm still here at times. Liberty will always hold a special place in my heart. During my time here, watching and being part of the athletes, not only growing physically and emotionally, but spiritually, and in turn, my faith got stronger and stronger while I was here. The support, not just financially, but the emotional support that I got from here is like no other. I was thinking earlier today when I was driving down here that I don't think I've ever come across another group of people that were so eager to cooperate and help and make sure that what we were doing was successful. I can't say enough, and so Liberty will always be close to my heart, and I'll always say, go Flames.